All right, great. Thank you guys all so much for joining tonight. We're going to talk about our meeting with Ana Gomez and building Mexico, Latin America, and Colombia. So, Annie, would you like to start or would you like me to?
I don't mind starting.
Great.
I'm going to go off of my memory here.
Okay.
I did take some notes. So Ana Gomez from corporate, just to kind of give you guys a quick overview, she actually was Eric Coover's assistant for 4 years. And so now she's handling a new position and she wants to build Latin America. Primarily, she wants to focus on Colombia and Mexico. Now, there are some challenges with everything, as we both know, or as we all know. And, the products are different and the cost is different. And there's not that many leaders down there that are actually working these markets. So that's an upside. So she is looking for a team that will go down there and just really share and build these, these places. And if you know of anybody that is interested in building this, it's not going to be easy. It just isn't. And so that is something that I took away today. It's just not easy, but the obesity rate is huge. So we need to help them, and somebody needs to help them. And why can't it be Isagenix? So that's pretty much what I gathered from today. So I really need to marinate the information for sure. But,
Right.
it is a market that needs to be tapped into.
Well, what I like what you said, Annie, and this is what I've been reading and hearing in my head. And the statements have been made to me in so many ways over the last few days. But for one, it said you brought up your word. If you say you're going to do something, you've got to do it. And I made the decision. I'm going to help grow Mexico last week. So I've had the visuals, like I told you before. I can smell the sand. I can smell the sea. I can see us on the beach. I can see all of this exploding and happening. I can see the villages coming together. So no matter if it's hard or not, what good things in life are easy, first of all. But if it's hard or not, I made that decision. I'm going to do this, and I've got to do it. I can't just back out a little bit because it's going to be hard. So I'm glad you brought that up today because, again, that's been a visual that's being sent to me on a regular basis. Couple other things that you brought up. It is going to be hard, but the reward is extremely large. And when a couple really major things come out of it, when you build internationally in one country, that automatically leads you to more countries. So that's the great thing about it. We haven't really left the United States yet. It's time, without a doubt. It's time for our team to leave and to go elsewhere. Another proof to me that it's time is we had 13 people show up today. We had 7 more people who were trying to get on the Zoom call, and we have several other people who are interested. And now we actually have an additional 2 people who haven't been a part of anything. So, that's roughly 22 people just from our team of talking about it over the last few days that have an interest. So let's put that into perspective, all right? So that's motivation. The obesity, they have the highest obesity in the world. What are you going to do? I sat there and I talked to Ruth and Lewis, and Ruth is Lewis Mancha. I'm having a hard time talking today. Ruth is Lewis Mancha's mom, and she was one that had some health issues when we first met in Tucson a couple months ago. Her main question to me when we sat down and talked was, how much was it? How much was it? How much was it? Then I told her, and then, of course, there's tax and shipping, which I never really add on there. I just say plus tax and shipping. And she called me up the next day, and she's like, you never told me it was going to be that much. And she's like, but it's okay. It's okay. Lewis says I have to do this, and I will do this. She was on the product for a month, loved it, felt the immediate effects within just a couple days, had a delay in her shipping, was off of it for 2 days, went right back to how she was feeling beforehand, which was awful. And she had hidden those health issues for years where Lewis didn't even know about it. And she's like, I'm a lifer. She's like, I will never, ever go off these products. And if you guys don't know Lewis's story, he's already lost 30 pounds. He's gone down 4 inches in his belly. He's a lifer without a question. So here you have 2 Hispanics that cost is definitely an issue. And they're both telling me, I'm a lifer. I will never, ever go off these products. So when Anna talked about how to promote this and how to work with it, she's like, we get people really good at their 30-second story. And we just have them repeat their 30-second story over and over and over again. And I think that's the key. And as long as we get people, whether it's us or the people we know or the people in Mexico who know people in Mexico and so on, to constantly just share their stories. And you know, we need to get every single person on our team to do a short little video that we can send out very fast to everyone, and especially the Latin Americans. You know, we want to see the Hispanics and maybe even have them speak in Spanish, but tell their story over and over and over again. People will forget about that cost because it is a poor country. They don't have a whole lot of money. Isagenix comes in with products price pointed for them, so they're only buying them like 3 to 5 days at a time. Although she did say that they sell more packs than they do individual products, so that's good. And they sell 30-day packs at a time. They're selling 30 days, pace setters, and Prezzies. Their Prezzies are different. They don't have the vitamins, so they have more bars and different things like that. But anyways, it's all being done by 30-second stories. And when that happens in these tight little communities, I mean, has anyone ever, America's different. America is such a melting pot, right? We all want to love each other and we all want to accept each other. But there's so many communities involved where they're so tight, you know, and I'll just kind of, if you don't mind, Sarah, I'll just kind of pick on the Jewish community for a little bit, if that's okay. It's a tight community, right? And when you're in that community, you're in. As long as you're well-liked and respected, you're pretty much in just because of that. And that's how Mexico is going to be, as well as several other countries. You know, I've watched this with the Indian community. It's the same exact thing. If you're a part of that culture, you're a part of it. So we start to hit these villages and we start to hit these different cities and towns, and the word's going to spread, but they're going to be the ones to spread it. So we're the leaders that come in, and we don't actually have to be in Mexico. We can do a lot of this, and a lot of them, especially Jay Bennett, are doing this through Skype and Zoom and different things like that. They're not actually going to Mexico on a regular basis, but they're saying their story over and over and over, and they're getting other people to translate for them, which we have several. I think we have about 17 people who are extremely fluent and more than happy to help translate. So we're great there. Share these stories over and over and over, and then they go back, just like our plan is with how to work Isagenix. You tell one person, they tell the next person, they tell the next person. But in these tight little communities, they are definitely talking a lot more. So we have to put a lot of work into it in the beginning with the hopes and belief that they will then continue to spread this. And that's then how it goes from country to country to country. Because you hit Mexico, you hit Colombia, they will be bringing in more South America countries. We have no idea which ones. They have no idea until this happens. But then we've got the UK starting. And for us, once we and as individuals get the confidence that we can help build a country, are you going to stop with one country? Let's just say you get a successful team in Mexico. Are you then going to be excited to go to the UK? And will you have the belief that you can do this? I will. I do. I mean, I'm already picking my people as to, okay, well, that person's from the UK, that person's from the UK, this person could build in the UK. all we need is that belief in ourselves that we can then take it further. And there's so many statements that I've been reading, especially with Healthy Mind and Body, that if you believe it, you can do it. So we have to have that belief. And I don't know, honestly, if we walked away from the meeting today with that belief. I didn't feel that amongst our team, and that's okay. That's where we work together. We kind of were all, I don't know if everyone was overwhelmed. I don't know, if it was more work than everyone was expecting or where everyone was. But that's okay. We can come back together and get that belief back together that we can do this. We have the connections, and that's the most important thing. We have 22 some people who have come forward stating that they have connections in Mexico that they're willing to reach out to, and those people are stating that they have an interest. That's really all we need to get this started. From there, it's our continued belief and our training on the 30-second story, you plus two, them plus two, and they do launching parties. I'll be talking to Anna more tomorrow. And I'll let her know, we might need a little bit more support. We kind of walked away not really understanding what kind of company support we were going to get. Kind of feeling like we're not going to get a whole lot. Is that a good statement to make, Annie and Susie?
I have to say, yes, I was under the impression we were going to have a lot more support. So in a nutshell, the tools that we have here is the same thing we're going to have down there. I was under the impression that we were going to have a lot of support, a lot more, and it is just exactly the same, except we're just tapping into a new market, and we're tapping into a market where money is more of an issue than it is in the U.S.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. So Linda just posted a really good question, and I'd like for everybody that was there today to really think about this and come back to me tonight or tomorrow. And for the rest of you that are on this call, what kind of support are we actually looking for? What's going to make us feel more comfortable reaching out and doing this? And you may or may not be able to answer that right now. It might take some time, and if you can't answer that, that's great. But it might take some time to really kind of think about that a little bit more. But I do want to call her and let her know. And the great thing about where we're at is, like she said, this is a brand new project for her. This is a brand new project for the company. So they are going to be open to what we need. We are the first group to bring in a group of people to be serious about this. So this was a really good guinea pig for them to understand what are they going to need, what do we need, and what do they need to provide. And Susie, you have something?
Annie. No, when we were there, we were just talking about, because I have a vision about what we could do.
Okay.
But we did mention in the meeting this morning that we thought financially we were going to be supported to do this movement, because we can make it happen, except we need to be backed up by it. That's how I feel.
Okay.
But I was thinking, let's say we get it going. I, in my mind, had this exciting vision of how we can get it done. I was thinking whoever's involved in this, and the way I see it, we're a committee of people that is excited to get it going, get it done. What we could do is meet maybe once a week or twice, however many times that, maybe once or twice a week, where we're all there, but we're all making phone calls at the same time, or maybe doing Zoom calls with people out there, or scheduling like Anna said, scheduling maybe webinars or Zoom meetings like ours, where we can talk to people out in Mexico and tell them about the product and tell them about how they can make money, and how, educate them a little bit about nutrition, and how, in general, how people eat in Mexico, being that they have a lot of obese people, how this product is going to help them combat like a lot of those, like diabetes, like a lot of things like that. But kind of like our own little call center going on here, with the specific intent to get in touch with people out there. But I guess what our issue was, we thought this was like a special product that maybe we were going to be compensated for a little bit differently, not how we're being compensated here, because it's going to bring up more challenges, because it's not like people here that we can talk to and speak to, or maybe meet up with, or invite them to an event, and we'll show up there with them. It's just going to be a bigger challenge, and it might take a little bit more time.
Right. And we talked about that, and I kind of discussed, something with her afterwards, that, would provide a bonus, because Isagenix isn't going to approve anything that's not amongst their guidelines that they haven't done, and what's right for the associate is right for the company, and so on. But I think there's some things that they can do to help us, like maybe a special crystal reset or something like that provides bonuses. So she'll definitely take that back to Eric, and I talked to her more about that, and I'll continue to discuss that with her, what their thought and their plan is. But they have to hear from us, which you brought it up today, and we'll continue to bring it up, is they believe that the potential is so high, because there's not that many people there doing Isagenix. It's heard of, it has a good reputation, and there are people doing it, but there's just not that many. So it's extremely wide and open. But there are challenges. There are going to be, it's a time investment that may or may not have a payoff for a while. So I'm with you, Susie. And I think that's something that we can work with. Herbalife was not brought up, no.
Okay, yeah, because it was funny. I was talking with a gentleman at lunch this past week, and he spends a lot of time in Mexico. He's not Mexican, but he has a brother who lives down there, and he raises a family down there. And he goes, it'd be interesting to see how you can get them off of Herbalife. So in his perception, which is interesting, is that, Herbalife has definitely been inundated with, different products and companies. And that being said, like, what's interesting is, and again, it's all about like a shift. So I'm trying to understand it. It's a kind of teacher in me. Like, you're going to have people who will maybe use a product and who might have price objections. But really what you're looking for, because you're not down there, and you can cleanse, coach, do all that with that person, are those people who understand the opportunity. I feel like if you connect with somebody who understands the opportunity and they start bringing in people and they're having success in the product, that is going to help, what's going to help grow the business, not having random enrollments. And while I do understand too that because you're not down there, like how to support people, it's kind of like, supporting Beth in Florida, right? I mean, it's Florida, and it's still part of the United States, but they feel very isolated, or people in different states, how to connect. And with Zoom, I mean, man, it's like going to become a bummer, because you'll be doing a Zoom call in Spanish. I won't understand the damn thing. It's the only time you'll ever see me quiet. But it's such an opportunity to start some of those conversations with your connections in Mexico that are business minded, because they get the opportunity. And I've had conversations with some people who have that cousin who does, the makeup, or they do, other things that are network marketing opportunities. So that's kind of where like my mind goes. And I think Mexico is who has that mindset versus really just trying to get somebody on the product. I feel like if you go the other direction, they're the one who has the connections. They're the ones who have the relationships, and it's who they know, not so much just the product users. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. So that was a vision I had to begin this, and which is why I was very excited about it, because I honestly, and I still do, even after walking away from Anna's meeting, she didn't sway me of my original thoughts of how we can be the connectors. Because the people that have stepped forward, that have connections in Mexico, the connections that they're bringing to us are business-minded people. There's a lot of Americans who want to make money while they live in Mexico, which we talked about. So there's some specifics with that when we get to that point. And LaDonna, your team is a part of that conversation. But the other people that have been brought to us are business-minded people, whether from Mexico or Americans living there, and so they get that aspect. What Anna brought to the table is, so far what they have experienced are not business-minded people. They're experienced more product users. And so to lead with the product for sure. They have that experience, and we can't argue that because that's the experience that they have received, but I just don't honestly believe that that's the only direction. I do believe that there's a lot of business-minded people who we connect, we teach, they go out there and they teach the thousands. That's how countries are built. That's how network marketing in different countries are built. So I don't know why this is different. Doesn't make any sense to me that they haven't really grown that way. And that could be why they're wanting to redo everything, which is a conversation I need to have with her of have they tried that approach? Maybe they just haven't reached the right ones. What's up with that? Because there are so many business-minded Hispanics. Of course there are.
Something that
yes.
came to mind as you were talking about it, Steph.
Yes.
So Stephanie discovered that in China, for example, it is just product users. You can't build a business. And my observation would be that it seems like in countries where people are not English speaking, my guess is that most of them are just product users. They can't build businesses maybe in some of those other places. But Mexico is our connection where we can build business. However, being that they're not an English-speaking country, and I'm not making the excuse, but I'm wondering if maybe that feeds into it is that language barrier that's being presented.
Okay. Yeah,
and I guess the reason I bring that up too is because I've noticed of the Herbalife community, being somebody who previously did use Herbalife, there are a lot of native speakers. It's not to say there aren't also native Spanish speakers in Isagenix, but I haven't encountered it in the same amount that I had in the Herbalife community.
Right. Okay. So when you were in Herbalife, did you encounter a lot of Latin American leaders who were really successful?
I wasn't really that much into the business at all, Eliza, and I just went to this place for free workouts and drank a shake or two after, and then bought our products on Amazon. But what I had seen is all the people that I saw repping Herbalife gear there were a lot of predominantly Hispanic.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we do know that Herbalife has really taken to Latin America. Some of the things they're doing, and I know this from a different source that I'm trying to get to Isagenix very soon. A lot of the CrossFit gyms have brought on a program. It's called a 6-week program, and they get them in the door, and then they talk nutrition, and then within about a month, they bring on Herbalife. So there's thousands of CrossFit gyms that are pushing Herbalife. They've hit the Hispanic market super, super hard. So the way that we can address that is we just have to be the ones to change them from Herbalife to Isagenix. We've got one prominent situation that is in the beginning forms of happening, and it would be through yoga, not through CrossFit, but through yoga. And then through this yoga person, we might be able to hit CrossFit, but it's a big barrier because it's already extremely tight and protected more or less. But that's how I think we can take care of the Herbalife situation. We just have to have those Herbalife users try our product. We have to instill in them the differences, and not to cut down Herbalife and not to downgrade it, but there are differences, and you are going to find people. we have a decent amount of Hispanics that the other Hispanics are going to listen to them of try this versus that. Herbalife is big in the boxing gyms as well. But now we've got a decent amount of boxers who are using Isagenix who want to push it a lot more too. And they'll listen to them. EOS, EOS is, gyms like EOS. Oh, right. Yeah, that EOS. Now, do you guys know much about EOS? I only know a tiny bit, but one of my real estate clients, they use it. It's Gold's Gym. Okay.
I think though too, stuff like I'd be careful. For me, I know there's no competition. I mean, one thing I got from Celebration is, you know what? If you're doing something that's getting you healthy, fantastic. If Herbalife's helping you reach your goals, good for you, right? We know what we have, and we know it's a superior product, but we're not going to get into a battle over that. What you want to do is go from a different direction with, let's say, like Maria, having such great results. People are going to listen. That's where the stories come in. Right. There's nothing that's going to change someone's mind except your story and you relating to them and that connection. Right. The other thing about Isagenix becoming more of a name is going towards the people who see it as a business opportunity. So there's definitely two sides. You want to show somebody that Isagenix is better. You say, how are you feeling? How are your goals? Are you reaching them? They're not. You are. And I really would love to pick the brains of different associates in the Hispanic community, because I feel like sometimes, like, to be honest, like we go down to Tucson, and I do have a lot of relationships down there because I taught in South Tucson, and so people think of me as, you know, part of the family. But I still felt like the gringa coming in, right? I don't even know if that's right. Gringo, right? It's like, who's going to listen to the little white girl who is going to tell you what to do? So sometimes that's my own stuff. When I'm comfortable, Annie's laughing, but you know what I mean, Annie? Like, I feel that, like, Maria will have that connection because she's like, I've tried everything. This is what's working. I mean, I love it because I'll go to my friends' families and they'll try everything from, like, these cactus plants. And they're like, try it, it works great. And I go down to Mexico and I get these plants, and you're like, what? But they do it because their family members are telling them it works. So I feel like it's really it's not that it's racist or anything. I think it's just having people of the same culture coming to some of those meetings in Tucson and saying, look, we're doing it. Look at my results, right? So that's why with Mexico, I feel like it's going to be about that relationship at the end of the day. It's always about relationships. So I don't think it's impossible, Annie, because I think it's really, you can't see it as any different than here, because you have people here who can't afford it and they find a way. And it's just figuring out who can afford it in Mexico and finding a way to show them the opportunity. Am I being naive about that? I don't know, maybe I'm being a little naive.
No, you're not. It's all about the value. It all comes down to the value. And you're right. You're right on track, Linda, with it's not, taking them away from Herbalife, but we know the differences. And if you don't know the differences between Herbalife or EOS or whatever, find the differences of people that have done it and just ask them their story. Well, how are you feeling? How's your stress level? How's your sleep? How much weight have you lost? How much did you want to lose? Just get their story so that you can compare without stating any names. And then you just come with your story of what you have experienced without downgrading another company, and they'll listen. And if they are a part of your family or a part of your community, or you find those people, they will listen. I think we just have to help people perfect their story, really understand the U+2, them +2, the business prospect, and teach them how to use the tools. There are a lot of Spanish tools. I asked them if they're going to be doing more. They are going to come out with more. I think we make some of our own, and we just do a lot of videos of our own stories.
Do they speak to how the products are? Because I always thought there's differences in how they're, like, I thought they were more liquid.
Yeah, they're concentrated. Everything is concentrated.
Was there a website that we could, be able to speak to that?
Yeah, go into your back office, and we receive paperwork on it too, but go into your back office and just go to place order, click on the Mexican flag, And then you'll see their packs and their programs and everything like that. It's all very visible. You just have to look for it.
Right. Because that's the part I'd want to understand more is,
Yeah.
you know, to talk about, because I don't understand the concentrated, how many drops, what's
And we got paperwork on all of that. So, like for an example, the cleanse, you put in 3 drops of cleanse, and I think it stated how much water. So it's pretty simple. We have paperwork on that, and we'll have to get to know that a little bit, and we'll have to teach our people. But then hopefully our people then, just like this program is supposed to work, our people then teach their people who teach their people who teach their people. So
you can only do the product in Mexico.
you get it from Mexico. They have 3 different distribution centers. They're working on shipping. Shipping has been a situation in the past, and I think LaDonna Cara mentioned that. So we did talk about that. They have 1 company right now, and they're working on a couple more contracts so that they have multiple places that ship.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yep.
What I did find interesting, kind of cute, how she mentioned that they have a different flavor that kind of adapts to like the culture. Like
Right.
she mentioned tamarindo that I think Ionix or something tasted like tamarindo, which is like a Mexican candy. It's like when you get like it's like those chamoyadas. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but you'll add chamoy,
Really
they put tamarindo or like certain like ices.
Is that
They
like
sell
the
them for
saladitos, the little
Yeah. It looks, yeah.
You can give it like classroom for
When they're like marinated or something, when they're like dark brown, so it's tamarindo, it's the candy. I thought that was really cute. And she said in Asia, like the products also taste differently there because, like it was mentioned, Isagenix adapts to the culture to make it more appealing to them. So I thought that was pretty cool because I guess if we go out to Mexico and taste like Ionix out there, it's going to taste different. And if we go to Asia, it's going to taste different. So it's not like a universal flavor. It adapts to the culture, which I thought was cool.
So the U.S. is sweet, surprising, right? And she said that most of the Mexican products are more sour.
Mm-hmm. Like the margaritas.
Right? Yeah.
One of the advantages, guys, one of the advantages that we have about the product that we have right now, I used to do Herbalife. I used to take Herbalife. I have friends that sell Herbalife. And yes, Herbalife is real popular in Mexico. In the Latin world, everybody knows Herbalife. But the difference is about Herbalife and Isagenix is that their products, you could drink it with water, but mainly people use it with milk. Our products, we don't need milk. Our products, it's just 8 ounces of water, 6 ounces of water for Ionix. And that's the great thing about Isagenix. The other great thing is how concentrated it is. If you compare the ingredients with Isagenix and Herbalife, it does not come close. So that is what we need to sell, is how much is in our product, how much better the product is. And I'm sorry?
Quality.
The quality. That is what we need to sell and advertise to our people. I had a friend who sells Herbalife, and I showed her, look, this is what I'm taking now. And you're going to see, Carlita, you're going to see how much more ingredients this product has. So we compared it. And she saw how much it is. So that is one person that we're going to turn around. And like you said, we could do really good in the Latin world, in Mexico. We could do really well. But what we're going to sell is the ingredients, the quality. That is what we're going to be able to sell.
Okay.
And that is we got Herbalife from.
Okay. That's very good to know. And the girls are making comments, Maria, you'll have to read those, and I'm sure you'll laugh about their experience with Herbalife. Just because a lot of them are using it doesn't mean they like it. Mm-hmm. They just may not
right.
better, and they may just not think more of it because that's what everyone does.
And the taste is not that great, believe me. I know. I am very pleased with the taste of our shake compared to what Herbalife was. I'm very even pleased with Ionics, how that tastes, and the cleansing. The tastes are very, very different to what they have to offer. The tea that they have to offer gives you you get very nervous, your heart races. That's not a good feeling to have. Mm-mm. So just those kind of quality is what we need to say, hey, we have this, and it doesn't make you get nervous, it doesn't make your heart race. So that's where we get Herbalife from, as far as advertising.
Okay, very good.
There's plenty of business in Mexico.
And there's a lot of business-minded people in Mexico. That is very true.
In Colombia, and that's called the cartel. Just FYI.
Whatever it takes, right? There's a lot of whys within the cartel. Right, exactly. But the way you did that, Maria, that's the perfect way of how you compare without actually comparing. You state your opinion of, I feel full. I like this taste. I'm very satisfied with how these shakes make me feel. Because if they're not getting that experience, you're letting them compare in their own minds without cutting down the other program. So yeah, I think we need to do a tasting party without a doubt. And we need to focus and have a bilingual flyer and bilingual advertising and really hit the Spanish market and make sure that we have plenty of Spanish speaking people there in Tucson. Linda and I can pour the drinks and you guys get out there and start chatting. Let them talk. We just have to let them taste it.
I might start chatting in Spanish.
Do you know any, or will you just come up with your own?
I don't know. It'd be like half Spanish, half Italian. Un poquito.
I'm good at picking up some. I can figure out some stuff. All right. So no matter what happened today, and today was a good meeting. I think it was just it didn't go exactly as we planned. So setting that aside, as well as all the information that we did receive, who is in to grow Mexico and be a part of this team? Susie. All right, great. Annie, you're the only one. Are you in or no? Or you don't know?
Remember that thing about my word?
Okay. All right.
All right. I need to absorb it.
Okay, no problem. So that's what I'm looking for, though. So it is about your word. Or if you're in, you're in, and if you're not sure, you're not sure. And I'm going to go. You're not sure yet versus no.
No, not sure. I will. I need to really think about daily consistent action, and and what I'm going to do, because if I put both feet in, I'm in all the way.
Right.
And I don't want to be part. So I'll let you guys know.
Right. And it has to be that way. And it has to be that way in America too, in your own backyard. It's the same exact thing. And so you're not going to do business differently there than you do here. You're going to do exactly the same thing, just have